Hey everybody, welcome to class today. Today we're going to go over pages 86 and 87 in the Read 180 book, and we're going to continue reading the absolutely true diary of a part-time Indian. But first thing we're going to do is go over the vocab words. So if you take a look at the first word on the top of page 86, the word is assume. Say it again, the word is assume. If I sound it out, it goes assume. So we got two syllables there. If I see people carrying umbrellas, I might assume that it's raining outside. Or it might be raining outside. So assume, the definition of assume would be to think something is true without proof. So if I think something is true without proof, I would assume it. So we take a look at the example question. It says, what is something you assumed was true that wasn't? So the first blank here, we're going to write I, and it says I assumed that what when actually what. So maybe I see the sun outside, so I assume that it's warm outside. So I assume that it's warm outside when actually it was cold. So I'm just changing this actually to that it was. Okay, so I assume that it was warm outside when actually it was cold. Okay, so I see that sun, I think it might be warm, but in actuality it is cold outside. Okay, if you take a look at the next word, the word is major. Say it again, the word is major. Sound it out, major. Okay. So if I use an example question, the traffic jam is a major problem when I'm trying to get home from work on time for dinner. So in this case, major would be very large or important. So if it's very large or important, it would be major. If we take a look at the example question now is, what is one major event your school holds? Okay, so think about athletic events, dances, like homecoming, any winter formals, things like that. So I'm just going to say one major, the first blank, event my school holds is, say, the fall homecoming football game. Or I'll just say the homecoming football game. That's my question. My sentence is, one major event my school holds is the homecoming football game, because that is a major event or something that is very important here at the school. Okay, so before we continue reading the text, we're just going to go over this vocab word at the bottom, page 86. The word is hitchhike. Okay, so I'll just say it again. The word is hitchhike, and that means to travel by getting a free ride from a stranger. Okay, so if you see somebody walking on the side of the road with their thumb out and they're standing there, that would be hitchhiking. Okay, they're looking for a free ride somewhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to read this text, we're going to continue reading the text, and then we're going to answer the key idea question. So the question is, how does Junior try to hide his poverty? So poverty means that he's poor, so how does he try to hide that he is poor? Yeah. So if you look at the top of page 86, I'm just going to read it out loud, and then we'll answer the key idea question once we finish page 87. I lied about how poor I was. Everybody in Reardon assumed we Spokanes made lots of money because we had a casino. But that casino, mismanaged and too far away from major highways, was a money-losing business. In order to make money from the casino, you had to work at the casino. And white people everywhere have always believed that the government just gives money to Indians. And since the kids and parents at Reardon thought I had a lot of money, I did nothing to change their minds. I figured it wouldn't do me any good if they knew I was dirt poor. What would they think of me if they knew I sometimes had to hitchhike to school? Yeah, so I pretended to have a little money. I pretended to be middle class. I pretended I belonged. Nobody knew the truth. Of course, you can't lie forever. Lies have short, shelved lives. Lies go bad. Lies rot and stink up the joint. In December, I took Penelope to the winter formal. The thing is, I only had $5, not nearly enough to pay for anything. Not for photos, not for food, not for gas, not for a hot dog and soda pop. If it had been any other dance, a regular dance, I would have stayed home with an imaginary illness. But I couldn't skip winter formal. And if I didn't take Penelope, then she would have certainly gone with somebody else. Because I didn't have money for gas, and because I couldn't have driven the car if I wanted to, and because I didn't want a double date, I told Penelope I'd meet her at the gym for the dance. She wasn't too happy about that. But the worst thing is that I had to wear one of Dad's old suits. I was worried that people would make fun of me, right? And they probably would have if Penelope hadn't immediately squealed with delight when she first saw me walk into the gym. "Oh my God," she yelled for everybody to hear. "That suit is so beautiful. It's retroactive. It's so retroactive that it's radioactive." And every dude in the joint immediately wished he'd worn his father's lame polyester suit. And I imagined that every girl was immediately breathless and horny at the sight of my bell-bottom slacks. Okay, so now we're done reading that. We'll continue reading tomorrow, but we're gonna answer the key idea question. So how does Junior try to hide his poverty? Okay, so if we look back kind of in the text, he pretends he has money, even though he really doesn't, and he acts like he's middle class, right? So in there, in paragraph 14 it says, "So I pretend to have little money. I pretended to be middle class. I pretended I belonged." So he tries to hide his poverty by pretending he has money and is middle class. So you just go ahead and write that for the key idea question. So Junior tries to hide his poverty by pretending he has money and is middle class. Thanks for paying attention today. See you tomorrow.